Have you ever wondered how different societies might manage shared necessities, like protection or infrastructure, without simply assuming a single, centralized authority? It is a fascinating intellectual exercise to consider the fundamental assumptions about how community resources are managed. The core public goods difference between minarchy and anarcho-capitalism lies in their proposed mechanisms for provision. Minarchy posits that a minimal state is necessary and legitimate to provide a select few public goods, primarily national defense, and a system of courts and law enforcement. In contrast, anarcho-capitalism, or Ancap, completely rejects any state provision of public goods, advocating instead for their voluntary and private provision through market mechanisms. This distinction arises from differing interpretations of the non-aggression principle and the nature of public goods themselves. Minarchists generally accept the existence of certain goods with characteristics like non-excludability and non-rivalry, such as defense, that are prone to the free rider problem, making state provision through taxation a justifiable exception to purely voluntary interactions. They see a limited state as the least bad solution to these specific market failures. Anarcho-capitalists, however, argue that even these goods can and should be provided privately, believing that state monopolies are inherently inefficient and unjust, regardless of the good provided. They contend that any state, even a minimal one, ultimately relies on coercion. Understanding this difference helps clarify the ultimate vision of a free society under each model. For instance, in a minarchist society, you would still pay taxes to a government that maintains a military and a judicial system. In an anarcho-capitalist society, these services would be offered by competing private defense agencies and arbitration firms, with individuals voluntarily subscribing to the protection and dispute resolution services they prefer. An important insight here is the concept of polycentric law, which is often discussed in anarcho-capitalist circles. This refers to a legal system where multiple, competing legal and judicial systems exist simultaneously within the same geographical area, with individuals choosing which system to subscribe to. This moves beyond merely privatizing police and courts to reimagining the entire framework of law itself as a market service, a stark contrast to the minarchists' single, state-enforced legal code. Ultimately, grasping the public goods difference between minarchy and anarcho-capitalism helps us evaluate the fundamental role of the state in providing collective services. It forces us to consider whether certain goods are truly unsuited for market provision, or if the market, given sufficient innovation and freedom, can indeed offer effective and ethical solutions to all societal needs, including those traditionally handled by governments.